Well, first of all, I was asked, and so that was really neat. But I've loved the book, for many, many, many years, and the movie, of course, as well. And I've always felt the story was it had such resonance for today as well, and I always thought that it would be beautiful on stage because there was a lot of conflict, but there was a lot of growth and development in the characters as well. So I thought it was kind of a natural for the stage. And so I was very excited when I got a call from Richard and he asked me if I'd like to do it this season. Well, luckily I've had a lot of experience with that, with directing classics. And of course, you have a number of, not really obstacles, but a number of issues that you have to deal with. First of all, people come with an expectation. They either expect it to be the movie, exactly like the movie, like Sound of Music, for instance, where the stage play is very different from the movie. The songs are in different places, and the characters are the same, and the music is the same. It's arranged completely differently. The same thing would happen with when I did Little Women last year on Broadway. Was everybody brought to the stage show what they remembered of the book, and memory is not always very good, and we misremember things, or we rearrange things in our memory the way we wish they were or want them to be. And many people personally commented to me, and we got many emails about how faithful they felt it was the spirit, and they were thrilled that they totally understood that as a stage show it could not be slavish to the text of the original. Obviously they're two completely different media, and the main difference, I think, with classics when they come to the stage as opposed to in their original form, which is usually a book, as with To Kill a Mockingbird, is that you have to compress time. You only have 2.5 hours, if you're lucky. Here we have a little bit more time. We have 3 hours, including an intermission, but you do have to compress time. For instance, the book takes place over 3 years, and the stage production takes place over 1 year. That's number one. I think that's a sense of unity, a sense of being able to have a continuity that makes some sense in a short period of time. There's that. There's also, you have to pick and choose what you're going to put on stage. You can't put 375 pages on stage. So you've got about 80 pages of dialogue. And so you need to choose your moments. And the moments that I tend to feel work best are the ones that are the most, the emotional highlights of the novel. And to have those with transitional moments that make sense to bring us from emotional high point to emotional high point is, I think, make the best stage adaptations. And I think this one works really, really well because I think all the iconic moments of the novel are there. They chose to spend a lot of time on the trial, and where the trial takes up about 1/8 of the book, it takes up about 1/4 of the stage production, because it is very theatrical and very dramatic and filled with conflict. And it is through the experience of the trial that the children really grow and develop. They understand that everything is not a fairy tale, that everybody who they thought was good is not 100% good, that everybody has good and bad, and black and white and gray and all this kind of stuff that you learn when you grow up, that nothing is simple, everything is complicated. And so it is a real coming of age story, and of course it has a lot of political implications, but you can't direct politics. You have to direct emotion and human beings and relationships, and that's what we concentrate on. And I often say that it's not it's not a play about civil rights, it's a play about human rights, and I think it is. It happens to take place in the South in 1935 during the Depression, and of course it's about the differences in the black living conditions, the white living conditions, and the Jim Crow laws were in effect and segregation was in effect. That's the background material. What it is really about is about the rights of a human being, and any human being, no matter what their color, no matter what their choice of lifestyle is. And that's what the children learn. I mean, the children learn that with Boo Radley, as well as what happens to Tom Robinson. They're kind of what happens to the outsider in society, and how society has to protect the rights of the outsider as well as the quote-unquote people who are in.